Next reader is Meghan.
Just before I begin, I want to do a big shout out to Ian for all of his hard work for Pros in the Park. I don't think he got recognized, but he was really instrumental. Okay, so this evening I'm going to read from my first book, which I published called Pure Red Sand, An Expensive Retreat. This is the first book in a trilogy. Basically, Earth has abandoned its mining colony on Mars, and everybody's been left behind. They don't know what's going on. And at this point, they're looking for resources. So two of our main characters, Nadine and her friend Anna, have gone to the hospital to look for medication to support their clinic that they're running. They walked in silence for a bit before Anna spoke again. Nadine, it's warm in here, like windows are open. Do you smell that? Yes, let's get to the dispensary. She pushed down an uneasy feeling. Maybe we should go up and check first in case someone has been here. They cleared everyone out of the hospital before they left, right? I'm sure they did, she replied, even though she was anything but. We can check, though. Nadine pushed open the door to the stairs, and they concentrated on finding their way up in the dark. Nadine was the first one to enter the hall, and she stopped suddenly, turned, and pushed Anna back into the stairwell. Anna's face was confused and shocked in the light from the hallway. Anna, listen to me now. You don't want to be here, okay? You do not need to see this. Go back downstairs and pack up the dispensary. Pack everything, okay? When you're done, if I'm not back, wait outside for me. Do you understand? Nadine, Anna, please do this for me. Just go and do it. I'll be back down as soon as I can. There's someone dead up here. She took a deep breath. I should be okay. I know, that's not why I want you to do this. Just go, okay? Okay, Anna whispered and turned to go back down the dark stairs. Nadine waited until she heard the door at the bottom close before she went back into the hall. The arm, dry and desiccated, in the bed that she could see from the entryway, beckoned. Taking a deep breath of the dry, foul air, she started down the hall. Some beds were empty, some had never been used, but there were too many occupants who had never left. She slumped against the wall. They were her patients. How could this have happened, she whispered to herself. Finally, she pushed herself up and walked to the nurse's station. She looked over the counter, only to find it full of vial boxes and needle packets. Frowning, Nadine picked up 2 of the boxes and backed into the light in the hall. They were 2 powerful narcotics. She'd never seen so much of either on a floor. Together, they would be lethal. Dropping them on the floor, she ran back to the last room with a body in it. There was a used needle on the bedside table and 2 vials. 1 vial of the mix would have killed an adult. 2 was excessive or safe. The thought was cold in the dark. Running as fast as she dared, she rechecked every room. Sometimes the needle was on the table, other times under the bed, or sometimes it was on the patient. Reaching the end of the hall, she slammed her fist into the wall. Dead. They were all dead. There was room for over 200 people in the hospital, and at least half the beds were occupied. She forced herself to take a deep breath before crossing the dark hallway that joined both sides of the H-shaped building. It was more of the same right up to the maternity ward's doors. She shook her head in denial. They wouldn't have, she told herself, and turned away from the doors. Some places are sacred. She moved methodically back, collecting paperwork from each bed. They always had paper files, along with digital, since the power could be unreliable. As she counted, she realized they would never be able to bury all of these people. It wasn't right to leave them in their beds, not here. She could feel the panic slipping back, making her heart race and her mind cloud. There was only one option. She couldn't leave them here, not for someone to discover, not for loved ones to find, especially not in the middle of their abandonment by Earth. It would be too much. She'd have to hide the evidence until later. She glanced around at the equipment that had been left behind. Nothing turned on, so there wasn't anything to try and save. It had been their tomb, and now it would be their pyre. The decision was made. After she folded up all the records and tucked them in her bag, she made her way back to the maternity door. She didn't want to go in there, didn't want to face what might be on the other side, but she had to, just in case. She had to know who had died, for their families if no one else. Closing her eyes, she pushed open the door and entered. All the windows were open as they had been in the rest of the wards. It was brighter that way at least. She checked the baby corner first, moving the curtain with trepidation, only to breathe a sigh of relief. The cots were all empty or unused. She was just about to leave the ward when her attention was caught by the bed in the far corner. The curtains were still closed around it. Slowly, she made her way past the nurse's station and over to the bed. She took a deep breath before opening them. Thank you.